In today's world, very few rabbis in the English-speaking world tell people the truth about what happens to people after they die. Needless to say, what is the status, halachic status, of a Jew that does not follow the Torah, does not observe Shabbat? So first, the Rav Ovadia says, look at how many poskim have mentioned how a Mechalel Shabbat is considered 100% an idol worshiper. If he's a Jew, he desecrates Shabbat on purpose, he drives on Shabbat, not to go save a life. Simply on a regular basis, he drives to the mall, he drives to the synagogue, he drives to work, wherever he does. He's considered Mechalel Shabbat, he's considered 100% idol worshiper. Once he does tshuva, he's considered 100% a Jew, and he can fix all of those sins from the past. But until then, you cannot use him for those special Jewish ceremonies. Now, we live in a generation where many people want to come and tell you, okay, we know what it says, but since there is the Tinok Shenishba clause, which is a generation of captured babies, if the kid grows up not even knowing he's Jewish, of course Hashem is not going to judge him like he's a Jew, which is correct. But then they want to take that teaching and say that this is the same thing as people today who didn't grow up religious, or they simply grew up not going to a religious school. They went to public school like I did. And since they didn't grow up religious, their fathers are not rabbis, their mothers are not rebbitzins, and they simply have too many desires. They lived in the world. Because of that, they should all be considered also the same thing as a captured baby from 1,500, 2,000 years ago. And what do they say? Look, we have some big poskim that say that's the case. Rav Ovadia goes over all of that. But now the Rav Ovadia paskins himself, tells you exactly what the conclusion is as far as how to consider all of everybody's Tinok Shenishba. Anyone that says Tinok Shenishba, this place, that place, whatever your custom is, all that good stuff. He says the following. He says, all of this talk about Tinok Shenishba, captured babies, is only relevant to places that are as if, completely empty of Judaism, where the vast majority of the people that live there are not Jews. And despite seeing the synagogues and the yeshivot and the Jewish community and people that are observing Shabbat, despite seeing this, they still don't observe Shabbat. Their judgment is they are considered idol worshippers. Meaning, all this talk about, hey, this guy didn't grow up in a Jewish community, or this guy didn't grow up in a yeshiva, and his father is not the Rambam, and his mother is not Rebbetzin Kanievsky, and this and that, and he doesn't know, and he doesn't this. Hey, listen, does he have a synagogue in his community? Has he ever seen one? Has he ever seen religious Jews? Has he ever seen them keep Shabbat? Has he seen them walk around with the lulav? Has he seen them walk around with the kippah, with the beard? Has he seen Jewish people before? Yes, of course, there's a bunch of them everywhere. Oh, so he knows what Jewish people are. He knows what religious people are. He's no longer Tinok Shenishba. The only place that he can possibly be a Tinok Shenishba, says Rav Ovadia and Yebia Omer, is if he lives among the Goyim to such an extent where if he sees a Jew, he can't tell the difference between him and a non-Jew.